Hello everyone, welcome back. So we were reading the story, short story by Ernest Hemingway, and the name of the story is A Day's Wait, right? And who are the main characters? Shaz, who's a 9-year-old boy, and his father. So we read that Shaz was down with fever. It was a cold winter morning. When he got up, he had a severe headache and he looked very pale. So finally, his father, understood that he had fever. He was down with fever, and doctor was immediately called. The doctor came and he checked the boy thoroughly, and finally it was found that he was down with influenza. He had flu and he was down with 102 temperature. So this made the child very nervous. He was constantly thinking of something. Then the father gave the medicine to him, and he read out a story to the child to comfort him. But was Shaz listening to the story? No, he was not listening to the story. Neither was he going off to sleep. So there was constantly something that was troubling him, isn't it? And then after some time, the father went out for a walk, and when he came back from the walk, he found that it was the same condition. The child was in the same position, the way he had left him before he had gone for the walk, and he had not allowed anybody to enter into the room as well. And he was staring at the foot of the bed, and he was constantly thinking of something. It seemed as if something was going on in his mind, and it was troubling him a lot. So let us proceed further now. Your temperature is all right, I said. It's nothing to worry about. So the child was too worried about his temperature, which was 102. At this, the father comforted him, tried to rather comfort him by saying that it was all right, there was nothing to worry. I don't worry, he said, but I can't keep from thinking. So the child says that he is not worrying, he is not worried, but he can't stop from thinking. Don't think, I said, just take it easy. So the father again, in order to make him, give him some moral support, he said that there's nothing to think, so don't think, take it easy. There's nothing very serious. You're down with flu. I'm taking it easy, he said, and looked straight ahead. So he replied back that he was taking it easy, and he stared ahead. He looked ahead, straight. He was evidently holding tight on to himself about something. So it was clear, evidently means clearly. So he was clearly holding on to something. That means something was going on in his mind which he was not able to share. Take this with water. Do you think it will do any good? So the father gave him another capsule and told him to take it with water. At this, the child asked, do you think this medicine is going to work? Do you think it will do any good? Is it going to do any good to him? Of course it will. The father replied that of course it will. I sat down and opened the pirate book and commenced to read, but I could see he was not following, so I stopped. So the father sat down again on the bedside and opened the same book, the pirate book, and started to read. Commenced means started. So he again started to read. But I could see he was not following. So it was very clear that the child was not listening to him. He was not paying attention. So I stopped. So the father stopped reading the story to the child. So, now all this show that even the father was realizing, he was able to understand that something wrong was going within the child. There was something which was troubling the child constantly, right from the morning. About what time do you think I'm going to die? He asked. So now he opens up. And how? He asks his father that, do you think at what time I'm going to die? What? Now this startles the father. This, shocks the father. About how long will it be before I die? So again he repeats his question, that about how long will it take for me to die? You aren't going to die. What's the matter with you? So the father is completely confused. He's startled that what is this little boy saying? What is he saying? Why is he going to die? He could not understand actually why the child was saying so. Oh yes, I am. I heard him say 102. So the child says, yes, I am going to die. I've heard the doctor say that I have 102 fever. People don't die with a fever of 102. So the father answers that it's very normal. People never die with 102 fever. That's a silly way to talk. So he told the son not to talk not to talk in a silly way. It's completely silly to say such things. I know they do. So the child again says, and this time, very confidently he says, of course, I know they do. People do die with 102-degree temperature. At school in France, the boys told me, you can't live with 44 degrees. I've got 102. So now he puts forth his, whatever was bothering him since morning, whatever was troubling him since morning, now he tells to his father. He says that when he was in school at France, the boys of his class told that one cannot live with 44 degrees, right? And I've got 102 and he is down with 102 degrees, which is much higher than 44 degrees. He had been waiting to die all day, ever since 9 o'clock in the morning. So he thought that he would die because he had 102-degree fever and surely he is going to die. So he was waiting to die since 9 o'clock in the morning. That is, since the time he heard the doctor say that he was down with 102-degree temperature. You poor Shaz, I said. Poor old Shaz. It's like miles and kilometers. So when the child said this, the father felt so pity for the child, and that is why he says, you poor Shaz, you poor little boy. It's like miles and kilometers. So it's basically the difference in the unit of measurement. You aren't going to die. You will not die. That's a different thermometer. So now he explains this to his son, that the boys in France, they had told about a different thermometer where 37 is normal. So that temperature, that thermometer, in that thermometer, the unit of measurement is Celsius, right? And 37 degrees Celsius is the normal temperature in that thermometer, which the child is thinking about. On this kind, it's 98. So this is the thermometer which they had used, in the thermometer in which the temperature was recorded, which showed 102 degree, that is Fahrenheit, right? So basically it's the difference in the unit of measurement. He was thinking of some other thermometer where 44 degree is Celsius, right? which shows 37 degrees Celsius, the normal body temperature. And this Fahrenheit thermometer, here 102 fever, where his fever 102 was recorded, that was the Fahrenheit thermometer, where 98 degree is the normal body temperature. Are you sure? So the child was explained everything by the father, and this comforted him, and he again counter questions him that, are you sure about it? Absolutely, I said. So the father assured the child that yes, whatever he was saying, it was absolutely correct. It's like miles and kilometers. So it's the same thing, like same difference between miles and kilometers. These are the two units of measurement. Similarly, Celsius and Fahrenheit, these are the two different units of measuring the body temperature. You know, like how many kilometers we make when we do 70 miles in the car? Oh, he said. So the child could understand clearly now what was wrong, right? What he was thinking and what was completely wrong. So he was not going to die. But his gaze at the foot of the bed relaxed now. So after the father explained everything to the child, he understood everything, and now his since he was staring at the foot of the bed, he got relaxed. The hold over himself relaxed too. So he got normal now. He was comforted with all these explanations and he came to know that whatever he was thinking, it was wrong. He was not going to die. And the next day it was very slack, and he cried very easily at little things that were of no importance. So next day also he remained quite cranky because he was not well. And with this we come to the end of the story, right? I hope all of you must have understood the story well. So basically here, the writer has beautifully portrayed the innocent mind of a child, which ultimately gets he gets into so much of trouble, and ultimately he gets he gets relaxed because his father explains him everything in a very clear way. He understands everything and he gets relaxed now, right? So I hope you've understood the story well. So please read the lesson and do watch the video carefully. Thank you, children.